Yo, my name is Dom Ellerbee, I'm 19 years old, and I live in Denver, Colorado. I've been playing music since I was 15 and have always had immense love for songwriting and composition. I'm also an avid fan of superheroes and video games, so much so that about 3 months ago I came up with a new idea. Now before I go any further, I want you to know who I am and where I come from. I was born to a single teenage mother, so things have always been hard for us. In 2013, my mom lost her job and had no one to help us get back on our feet. A few days after the new year, we lost our apartment and found ourselves homeless for 14 months. In 2014, we moved into a new house and things were okay for a time, but food, hot water, and power were always a struggle to maintain. In 2015, I wrote a musical for my senior year of high school and we performed it with great success. I was accepted into the Berklee College of Music and attended the fall 2015 semester. Now, it's 2016 and I have something new and exciting to share with all of you. Please take a peek at my debut studio single, Old School Radio.
So if you're missing me, go back when we were 17 and submit my love to that old school radio. All that's left of you are dreams and memories, but a song keeps playing on that old school radio. Oh, and when the nights are long and cold, baby, just comfort your soul. There's a rhythm and melody on that old school radio. On the radio,
Did you like it? I hope so. I played all of the instruments on this recording, including drums, bass, 2 guitars, and vocals with harmonies. I wrote the entire song myself, and I have so much more where this comes from. My family and I are struggling again, and we fear things may take a turn for the worse. This album might be our ticket to a better life. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is a collection of films that all connect and tell a much larger story. I love this concept so much, I figured why not take from film and apply it to audio. I've created a whole universe inside of this album, complete with characters, backstories, and real-life experiences. Think of this album as the Avengers and the supplemental material standalone movies. This album is just the first step in the evolution of musical storytelling. My friend Travis is a very talented graphic designer. I enlisted him to help me with my countdown promotion for my single using pixel art. He was such a pleasure to work with that I asked him to work on the cover art for it as well. As you can see, it turned out great. Together, we aim to begin work on comics, graphic novels, standalone prints, short films, and so much more when the album comes out. We're inspired by old space pictures and retrofuturism from the 1960s and 80s. But we aren't going to be the only ones doing the illustrations. My sister, Dejanay, at only 15, posts a copious amount of talents, one of them being illustrating. Pictured here are just a fraction of rough sketches that are just the start of it all. Together, my sister, Travis, and myself will create a new universe based on my album, The Party. This album is even more than that though. Something that is often left ignored in society is domestic abuse and abusive relationships. I want to speak out on these topics as well as others, such as dealing with anxiety, hookup culture, drug addiction, and many more. I have loads to say but so little time. Please, if I've grabbed your attention even just a bit, check out a more in-depth description of everything down below. The initial goal is $3,500, but that would just be a 5-song EP. In order to make the full 15-track album, I need $14,000. But together, I believe we can raise enough to make this dream a reality and start the next step in musical storytelling.
I first met Dom in freshman year of high school.
Well, it was kind of when we started going to school together.
Well, I first met Dom in one of my classes here at Berklee, and just by talking to him, I got to know more about his musical projects and one of his projects, Stella.
I learned his music through a musical when I started high school.
And I know you produced one of the plays at our school, so I kind of heard it when I went to that.
And I just started going to concerts and stuff. I remember it was my first concert that I had actually ever been to, and it was pretty awesome because I got to be up close and listen to his music, and yeah, he likes to think out there a lot. Gives different views on things than what normal people do. He likes to, I don't know, think more deeply into the emotions of things.
Today's music industry, I think it's definitely confusing. It's not like what it used to be. I think as musicians, we really have to understand how it works and find out what we can bring to it as far as sound and, an image.
His guitar, mostly, I feel like, has just such a different sound than what normal people do, and I don't know, I feel like it makes his music that much better.
The music is very refreshing to hear. The music nowadays doesn't really have meaning behind it. When I listen to Dom's music, there's definitely a message behind it and a lot of meaning.
I think it's a really good song, and it's, from what I've heard from the past, it shows that he's grown a lot.
I think the radio needs to play more of this kind of music.
I do feel like it has radio potential because it's still uppy music, so people can still jam to it, and then once they start listening to his lyrics and stuff, it's very deep music, so I feel like people would enjoy it.
It's something, that's very real in our society, and a lot of people can relate to it. For me, it's always about keeping things real with music and, with life.
Obviously, they're horrible and that people shouldn't have to go through that, but, that's what life is.
I believe it will be successful. Dom is a very talented person, and, he's a hard worker, and hard work pays off, so hopefully he can just meet the right people and let his music do the talking.
I personally do believe it will be, just because his music's just so different. I don't know, he's a fantastic person. So with all those things together, I feel like, oh yeah, it's gonna make it somewhere. One of my favorite memories of Dom is at one of our friends' birthday parties. We were in a limo and listening to music, and then he decided to twerk in the back of the limo. I still have a video of that on my really old phone. I just think it's so funny.
Dope.